Hi, love bunnies. I hope you guys are all doing so well. Welcome back to the Beauty House. As you can tell by the title in today's video, we are going to be going over a few of the looks from the red carpet of the Oscars that happened last weekend. I am going to share which looks I liked, which looks I would tweak, or if I would tweak any at all. If you like to see and hear my review and my thought process on these looks, make sure you continue to keep on watching. Okay, love bugs. First up, we have the beautiful Tiana Taylor. Now, overall as a whole, this is a nice look overall. However, it is not my favorite look. As I said in, I want to say my first review when she was a woman that I did choose to review, she has a signature look at this point, and I'm noticing that, right? Which isn't bad. But to me, with this one, it just wasn't the greatest look in my opinion. One, she already has hooded eyes and her eyes are already small. So to me, when you utilize black and white the way it was utilized here for her eye makeup look, to me, it just didn't do it justice. It closed the eye even more. And the shape that it did create, because again, black and white is going to now create a certain type of shape where it's now elongated in the front and just a tiny bit at the end, I don't think it really complimented her. Now, I understand the usage of the black and white, being that her dress, if you guys looked at her dress is black and white, and it has a few line work and feather work of white. So I get why the color scheme was used, but it just wasn't the best to me. And again, because the eyes are so hooded, you can't really see that the actual lid color was some shade of a white that was utilized if you looked really close. The blush is more so on the mauve shade or the mauve tone, which isn't bad. It looks good against her brown skin. But me personally, what colors I think would actually pop even more, I would have used a nice terracotta shade, because that also would complement and work nicely along with the bronzer. So it could be more of a ombre effect from the blush into the bronzer. So it looks even more of a natural finish on the skin. The lip combo, 9 times out of 10, she does this lip combo. It's cute. You know, again, I probably would most likely fill the whole lip with that brown liner that she used. And if I did do a pink, it would be more so maybe a deeper shade of a pink, just to tie it all together to complement the pixie haircut and the outfit that she was wearing. Like I said, it's a nice look in general, but it's just not my favorite. Okay, loves, next up is Barbie Ferreira. Not gonna lie, I don't know who she is, but all I do know is I absolutely love this look. I like the fact that this look is sultry and plays nod to the 20s. The makeup artist kept it very soft. This would be a look that I would consider to be a soft glam. Starting with the brows, I like that her brows are naturally full, so they didn't try to manipulate the shape of her brow. What is going on? What's happening here? I like that the eyeshadows used was soft. I can tell it was around the nudish, whitish, nudish shade on the lid. And just at the ends was a darker shade. I like the fact that the focus wasn't necessarily on the eyeshadow, because they kept it soft. And it was more so focused on the liner. At the ends, I can see that they utilized most likely wispy or possibly a half lash, because I don't see too much in the inner corner of the lash line. So it's most likely clusters or a half lash. I like that they utilized white in the waterline area. Utilizing that allows her eyes to now look more open, because it looks like she does have small eyes. So the white add like a pop to the eyes to allow it to look a little bit more open. And I like the use of, is not too much on the bottom lash line. Most likely mascara was utilized, again, just to add that openness of the eye a bit. The lip color is absolutely beautiful. I wouldn't have gone with the red or any other shade, but this one, it looks to me as though it's a dusty rose, and I do like that. I can tell that they did use a little bit of bronzer, nothing too crazy, because I can see a little bit at the temples and the cheekbone. So again, it definitely complemented the structure of her face that she has naturally. Now, the only thing I don't like is the overdrawing eyeliner, the overdrawing of the lip, just a tiny bit. At the top, I can see at the Cupid's bow. I'm not a fan of overdrawn lips. Just stick with the natural shape of your lip if you are going to use liner, in my humble opinion. But besides that, overall, this look was absolutely beautiful to me. She looks absolutely stunning. Okay, love bugs. Next up is going to be Miss Demi Moore. She looks absolutely stunning and very youthful. Now, youthful does not necessarily mean young. When it comes to makeup, youthful, what allows a person to look youthful would be colors that's utilized, technique, as well as product placement. So sometimes if you use the wrong shade of a certain color, foundation, whatever the case may be, it can age you. As well as if you use other colors, something say lighter or more of a shimmer or a certain kind of a finish, can make a person look youthful. So that's what I mean when I say she looks absolutely youthful, right? Now, when it comes to the eyeshadow, because her eyes, they're like deep set, and this part, what is this, the crease? This part comes over just a bit, and her eyes are a little bit in. The fact that they utilize a shimmer color more so opened up that area. One, because it's a lighter shade, as well as two, it's a shimmer. So it naturally opened up that eye area to really show the green in her eyes. And I really like that. And also they utilize, I want to say, a warm brown just in the crease, and that add a little bit of a dimension from the shade that was used on the lid. So again, it opens up the eyes even more. I like that they kept the liner thin, and the lashes also, it wasn't too much, it wasn't overpowering. It was just the right fullness to still have the eye be lifted. So I really like that a lot. The blush that they utilize, I like, because you can tell it's a pink. So the shade of pink just being right on the apples of the cheek, and just a tiny bit towards the hairline, just a bit, not much. When it comes to placement, apples of the cheeks usually make the face look a lot more youthful, and of course when you bring it up higher, it adds a lift to the face a bit. So I like that they utilize that technique. Now, the lip gloss, or I want to say this is possibly a lip oil, or it could be a lip gloss that's that pink shade, and looks gorgeous because it complements the shade of the blush. So you know me, I like when a look looks complete. Either the blush and the lips can match, or the shadow lips, everything as a whole match. Either way, I like that combo was utilized, because again, it ties it together. And because she is of a particular age, you don't want to put too much on the lips, because sometimes if you have fine lines around the lips, it could bleed off and also not make it sit nicely or look nice. So I like that they utilize a pink, so it still added a flush of color to the lips, and it still brightened up the face as a whole and really tied the look together. I see that possibly just the tiniest bit of bronzer was utilized, a little bit on the forehead and just a tiny bit on the cheek, just to add back that dimension to the face. So overall, this look is very beautiful, and for her being a woman of a particular age, because sometimes certain techniques, certain products, certain placement of products, again, could age a person who's already of a particular age, and you don't want that. You still always want to have a youthfulness, a radiance, no matter what age that you are when you are playing and utilizing makeup. Alrighty, next up we have Emma Stone. Now, this is one of my favorite looks. Now, if you guys haven't noticed, when I do these reviews, I don't have a particular order, but 9 times out of 10, my most favorite look would possibly be the last look that I talk about. Now, my last look that I'm going to talk about is pretty much tied for this look. Now, this is not my favorite look because it is the best makeup out of all of them in this video. But it's my favorite look because this makeup that she is wearing complements her, if that makes sense. To my recollection, I don't think Emma Stone does too much when she is on the red carpet. 9 times out of 10, it's something soft, easy breezy. And again, it suits her, and that's what I like, right? Makeup, in some instances, you can play around with different eyeshadows and colors and lip combos and blush. But sometimes going the less is more, or let me just showcase and highlight certain features, that's also the beauty in makeup. So that's why I say this is one of my favorites, because it suits her. So let's get into why. Now, she has this ethereal look to me, right? Like a unique look in her own right. She's clearly a redhead, I think, if I'm not mistaken. I think she's naturally a redhead. So that usually 9 times out of 10, or probably 10 times out of 10 redheads naturally have lighter eyes, more so on the green side, right? So her hair color, along with the fullness of her brows, these look like it's naturally full to me. She has it brushed up. It looks nice, right? Tied it with the fact that the eyeshadow, it looks like it's just literally one shade used, and it's looking like it's a shimmer shade, but more so on the white. It doesn't look as though there's any color utilized to define the crease. It just looks like it's only that shadow. So again, it's very simple. The lashes, I want to say this look like it is natural wispies, because you can see the slight fullness of it. So I'd say this is also a natural wispy kind of a lash. So again, the focus was more so to have the eyes lifted, to me, in my humble opinion. The bottom lash line, it doesn't look like she have anything on it, just possibly a little bit, just a tiny bit of mascara, again, to keep the eyes fresh and open. The skin looks absolutely radiant. Is not too much happening. I can see that there was more of a peachy shade utilized as a blush, which looks really nice on her, just at the apples of the cheek. Again, placing it there always add a youthfulness. I like that her freckles are coming through, so possibly the foundation could have been a satin finish. Yeah, it doesn't look dewy to me, so it's most likely probably a satin finish, lightweight, because again, you can still see her freckles peeking through. And to top it off, to tie the look all together, I would say the lip color is again that peach shade, which absolutely looks beautiful, or is possibly a stain. One thing that I do not like, that I would tweak, is the overdrawing of the lips. That, can't stand it. Looking at this photo, she possibly like naturally has fuller lips, so the outlining of it doesn't make sense to me, right? Because you're always going to see your natural lip against the liner, which is clearly outside of the lip. That I don't like. I wouldn't have done that. But other than that, this looks absolutely beautiful. Again, because it suits her. It's not heavy makeup. You still see the natural freckles underneath. You still see the fullness of the brows. So overall, I think looks really pretty, and it's also very light for her. So again, this was one of my favorite looks. Okay, loves, last but not least, and this is my ultimate favorite look, hands down, is going to be Anne Hathaway. Now, whomever this artist is, I will give a standing ovation. Because this look to me is absolutely breathtaking. Now, clearly from a perspective as a makeup artist, right? Starting with the brows. Her brows have a natural fullness to it, so nothing too much was going on there. They pretty much look as though that they brushed it up and just added powder to whatever sparse areas they were, which was possibly the end of the brows. Her eyes. These, I would consider her eyes as hazel. If you look really close, you can see that it's brown, but around the edges is green. I like to believe my eyes are not deceiving me, is green. The eyeshadow used did her eyes absolutely all the justice that it deserved, right? The shadow that was used, I would like to believe that this is a brown, like an orangey brown, right? And if it is an orangey brown that was utilized, this was perfection against her eyes, because when it comes to brown, right, brown can either be on the cool side or on the warm side. When brown is on the warm side, that means it has more orange in it, right? And so because she has brown and green in her eyes, orange complements the green in her eyes. And also because brown have orange in it, that's what added the depth to it. And because it's against the green, that's what added the dimension to it. So utilizing a brown that's warm of this shade looks absolutely beautiful on her eyes. Then they utilize, I can tell these are lash clusters, which they are wispy because the way that they, it's darker at the lash band, so I can tell it's a cluster, and then they flutter up a bit, so it's more so wispy clusters, which is beautiful. It doesn't look like they took it too much to the inner corner, probably like midway and end, just to still add that openness, because it looks like she also has hooded eyes. If you bring the lashes in too much to the tear duct, it can close the eye. So if you have it from the mid end, it keeps the eye open, and it looks like that's what they did. I like that they brought the eyeshadow color down underneath the waterline to still again add a depth to the eye area. The shade of blush looks as though it matches exactly or perfectly pretty much to the shade on her lips, which to me looks like a softer peach shade, and again against her skin, which she looks more so on the warmer side, but she'll be a light warm in my humble opinion. It looks absolutely beautiful because when it comes to peach, that's still in the family of orange, which still again looks very nice, of course, with a brown or warmer undertone. So whomever it was, I might have to look up who the makeup artist is, did an absolute amazing job. I like that they didn't overline the lip too much. They kept it to her natural lip shape, and it like is slight of a glow. The skin is bronzed up a bit. Again, most likely when it comes to makeup looks, makeup artist is going to add just a dash of bronzer to some capacity, because that again always adds warmth back to the skin, because makeup is just makeup. To me, this was my favorite look, hands down. And probably like I'm not really into red carpets too much, but Anne Hathaway always looks pretty to me, but this look, striking. Like absolutely, this was my favorite look, hands down. So as per usual, I try not to have these videos be too long. Just looks that I liked. My suggestion if I would tweak anything, or if I like it exactly how it is. If you enjoyed this video, which I hope that you did, I will be doing a review of the looks for the Vanity Fair after party that happened also on Oscars night. So look out for that. That is going to be dropping later on this week. As I always say, the true foundation of beauty starts from within. Makeup is just the cherry on top. Thank you guys so much for taking a part of your day and choosing to share it with little old me. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share, tell a friend. I cannot wait to see you in the next one. Love you and be safe. Mwah.